Some careers follow a straight line, but some take you from coding in Singapore to trading floors in Mumbai to shaping the future of finance education across the world. And that's exactly the kind of story we are diving in today. Hi guys, I'm Prince Shivare. I'm the founder of the Life of Choice, and on a mission to help professionals build freedom for themselves, freedom to learn, grow, and design a career that inspires them and impact millions of lives. Today's guest has one of the most fascinating journeys I have come across in finance. He started out as a programmer at JP Morgan, became an India trading strategist at Citi, led continuing education and advocacy at the CFA Institute, and now he's at HGFC Mutual Fund, driving content and automation, blending finance, storytelling, and technology into one powerful career. What's truly inspiring is how he has reinvented himself at every stage of his career, from coding to trading floors, from teaching to automation. Hi, guys. Please welcome with me Shreenivas Kunte, a professional who truly embodies what it means to keep learning, evolving, and shaping the future of finance. First of all, Srini, I want to welcome you to this podcast, and I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers. Yeah, over to you, Srini.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Prince. It's, in fact, the other way around. It's inspiring to be with you. And you mentioned the word mission. And you are on a mission to educate people on careers and skills. I congratulate you and, my wishes, the best wishes with you and your mission. So that these are the kinds of things that keep on inspiring me. And, you asked me like, to introduce myself, but I think you have over introduced me. This is what I've tried to uh, do things that I believe in, that I like, and where one can also identify with the vision and mission statement of the Institute as well as CFA Society India, which is to the greater good of the society. So, these are very big words, but end of the day, right, deep inside each one of us, one wants to find a meaning.
Right.
One wants to find contentment in whatever they are doing. Yes, there is content in money, but there is far larger contentment in the words that we just talked about.
Yeah, great, Shini. So you started your career like 2 decades back, more than 2 decades back. So how the journey
Yes.
started and what inspired you to join finance? So we'll begin from the first day of your
Yeah,
office.
sure,
Yeah,
sure. So yeah, so it's I've been extremely lucky, very, very lucky. I come from a very small place called Khopoli, which is beautiful, by the way. It's still beautiful despite Mumbai. And I don't say that Mumbai is not beautiful. Mumbai is. It's just that, a little bit of civic sense can help all of us. But yeah, so I started from there and, I did my engineering in a place called VJTI. It's a 100 plus year old institute, and it's a great place to be. And after the engineering, I was just picked up by software company. Software was just beginning to unravel itself. So my first job was not at JP Morgan. It was with COSL, Citicorp Overseas Software Limited. Well, you could call that as the first job. So COSL is where I learned a lot of software and, yeah, how to program. Although I am a computer engineer, I started to feel the power of a computer when I was on the job. I started to feel what machines can do when I was on the job. But it still was, kind of programming, right? Talking with machines and getting machines to do things. But it's in Japan that's where I started. Like, I had always wanted to, go abroad. It was a
okay.
craze, right? So people I wanted to fly in an aeroplane. I wanted to go abroad, like all of us. I don't know, like youngsters these days, they don't have that craze, which is good. But anyway, so I landed up in Tokyo and I thought that this is just like India. Of course, it is very sophisticated with a lot of escalators, huge cleanliness, but people are all the same. But that's where, working with finance, I started to see, how computers could shape things from FX trading to derivatives, to credit risk. One could just work on a system and then find out how programming could translate human knowledge and human actions into a value. Kept on doing that for a few years, and then I thought that, and I used to read newspapers and I used to see the Financial Times, especially, and The Economist,
Okay.
and I wouldn't understand what the hell was happening. I would understand that people were making money around me. The kinds of salaries in Japan, even now, right? Like if you and upfront, I want to tell people, you know, why do they want to struggle if they feel that money is their motive in life? Just learn Japanese and go to Japan,
Okay.
right? I mean, why do they want to do a H-1B visa? What is the whole ruckus about? This is a country which wants people, but anyway, the salaries are huge, right? And that was an attraction, but not quite the attraction. You
Okay.
always felt slighted when somebody was talking some options trading strategy and you never understood it. But when it came to coding, when somebody said, "Okay, this is the strategy and this is to be translated into coding," you could do it. So then I thought, I need to be literate enough to understand the economist. I need to be literate enough to understand the Financial Times. And that's where, I was toying whether I should do an MBA. And MBA was not a problem because I had the money and, I could just fund it. I could just go to the US, study and, come back. In fact, I think I had applied to Carnegie Mellon or something.
Okay.
And then somebody told his name, he's a fellow charter holder, Ratnadeep Palshetkar, dear friend. He's the head of fixed income in Bank of America as we speak. I even passed it. And on my level 3 exam, my results were not out. In the train, I met somebody in the Tokyo metro. I met somebody, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I work for State Street." So he said, "Do you want to join City in the research department?"
Okay.
I said, "Why not?" So he said, "Just send over your resume." And the next thing I knew that I was talking with the head of research. And I had also parallelly I was learning Japanese, so I speak at that point in time I used to speak fluent Japanese. So Chiwata-san, the head of research for City in Tokyo, he said, "Please join us." So that's where I joined as a quant in research. It was a data services group, but we built a quant database there. And then within City, I then got transferred to the trading floor, which was even more fun. And yeah, so that's the story. So after that, I was with City for a really long time, a decade plus, and this was my second tryst with City. And during that period, I learned a lot on the market side of things. Uh, and this is when, for a personal exigency, my mother used to stay with me. And, she had to come here to India and for a medical emergency. My boss was kind enough to, kind of let me come here like almost every month.
Okay.
And then he also said he was kind enough to offer a transfer to India. So, a relocation. So that's when I decided, the children are. See, Japan is a fascinating country,
Okay.
but it's like Solomon Grundy, right? Born on Monday. The variety in life offered in India is far, far more. Of course, Japan has got many more fascinating things, and they are the high tech power of the world. They have not been as expressive in whatever they are doing, but the discipline that you can see on Japanese streets to Japanese companies, it is unparalleled. It's a different planet. But I did not want to be in such a disciplined place. Uh, chaos in India, right? Like, I was almost longing for them.
Okay.
And the history for India, I would identify with the history in India than the history in Japan. So I thought, maybe, I need to do this. And I thought, the children would be more competitive if they were able to thrive and learn for the things that India offers. So that's when I came here, and I wanted to do a PhD. So that was the other thing that I wanted to teach. I
Okay.
still want to teach. At the heart, I'm a teacher. I want to teach, and I don't know how that is going to play itself out. But yeah, so I could do that thanks to CFA Institute, and thanks to my boss Vidhu Shekhar. He allowed me that particular thing, and here I'm at HDFC now, doing AI and lots of other fun things.
Great, Srini, great. Like it's a illustrious career if I can define in one word. Like, and you just said ki, like you are a teacher at heart. So that's a great thing because I also am a teacher from heart. When I was in class 11th, now I started teaching. So that's when like जो अभी मेरा first student था ना, I'm still connected with him. अभी भी मैं आगरा जाता हूँ तो he calls sir मेरे घर आना. So that kind of relationship we
Very
formed at
nice.
that time.
Yeah. Very
So
nice. Yeah.
at the
Very
beginning, we
nice.
just talked about Khopoli, and I knew from our previous interactions that you run some drive in Khopoli, na, like a social initiative. What is that? Can you briefly explain that? Yeah, I want to
Yeah,
understand that
so
in detail.
it's a
Yeah,
bit of a crazy thing. Almost,
yeah.
people do call me crazy, or not just me. The people with me who are on this particular, uh, you know, I would say a symbolic action. So the first thing when we came to India, right? This is 2012. My children, they were appalled at uh, at the at the garbage. So, and not just my children, my best family friends, their children, they're from India, so their children. A Japanese lady, who came here. I don't want to name her name, but she pointed out, the first thing she did was she was taking pictures of the garbage in on Kopoli streets.
Okay,
So that hurt me, and still does. Now it's a bit like, I feel that there's a clean India, there's an unclean India, and if there is some kind of relief, if you go to countries around the world, some of the great countries around the world, they're not great when you look at their backsides.
right.
So in terms of, like, that's why I say that Japan, is a different planet. What you see on the street, what you see in the homes, what you see in the companies is uniform.
Okay,
So, so the cleanliness is something that they swear by and they live by. They actually do it.
okay,
So it has got its own repercussions, and so we started this small drive, which is still going on after so many years. And the group is recognized for many awards, and I am the nature and cleanliness ambassador for Khopoli,
okay,
at
great.
least till last year. This was 2 years, and then I said, "There's no point because people don't listen. There are small reforms that you could do, and these small reforms can make a place like Khopoli, uh, in every small place. And it's Khopoli is. I've been unsuccessful. So to your pointed question, it's a decade-old unsuccessful attempt to do some cleanliness in Khopoli. That's it.
Okay, okay. So you just said ki unsuccessful attempt na. So I want to add one line of my mentor. Na. He says, "We either success or we get feedback." So it's a decade-long drive to get the feedback, like whatever people are going to use or not. Na. So it's just a feedback.
Yes,
So
yes.
we just need to change the perspective. So second thing you said, you started your computer engineering like in 1991 around at that time, no? 1990s around, and I was not even born at that time. So after that, you said I always wanted to go abroad. And when I interact with my community people and other people outside who are outside our community, they say that I want to go abroad. There is a craze of going to Dubai and Saudi Arabia, and like US is like quite of like tumultuous place right now. But they always wanted to go abroad and make a good living, live a good life financially. So how a person who is sitting in India, working in Mumbai, want to go Japan, Dubai, Saudi, and serve the whole world as a one community. So how can a person do that? Can you
Yeah.
explain a simple path for that?
Yeah, sure. So just to clarify, the success and lack of success that I mentioned in the drive, that is in the perception.
Right,
Okay, so that some people are noticing if you are not there for a couple of weeks. That is where you feel that you have formed deep bonds with people around a small place who recognize you so very well. And it's not just Kopoli, if you go to villages, they say, I know you. So it's a and there's no success in that. So if you go to some of the Gandhian principles, right, like it is the seva that you do, and what is being said about those principles uh, is that in a when you want to serve a village, you can't. You have to serve only two or three or four or five families. So when we go around a drive, we just do it symbolic. We do it once a week. And sometimes, like last month or so, I've not been able to go.
okay,
So it's about 15, maybe 20 families that know us firsthand, right? And that bond has deepened. So it's the seva that becomes successful. It's not a human being. It's not a personality. But anyway, that is tying us up to your pertinent question of how should youngsters think of, or how should anybody at all? It doesn't matter. See, age is not a bar.
right,
Age is just a number. Okay, so if you have that attitude that I want to serve something, I want to be of use to something. Elon Musk is very famous for looking at his entire company as a huge vector. He's saying that if you try to be useful, if you try to create code that is useful for someone, it's going to help you. The same thing now, all of us need to, kind of not only digest but practice. And one of the problems is that we've got causality reversed. We look at positions, we look at Dubai, we look at Tokyo, we look at the US, we look at H1B, but we forget service. So if you reverse the causality, what do I know that can be useful for others?
right,
What do I don't know but I like to do, and how could I learn to get that? So if you reverse that, life is going to be simple. It is going to bring a lot of happiness. And just to your point on what can people do right now, we are at an unprecedented moment in history. Technology has offered us so much that you just have to start right now, right here, and get those tools. And if you don't know about those tools, learn about them and try to be useful to someone. If not anyone, try to be useful to your parents, to your friends, to your community, and to a company. If you become useful, you'll get six-figure salaries in whatever currency you wish.
thank you, Shini. Thank you, for the great answer. Like, if you can add a value in any profession, any work, you are welcomed everywhere. That's a subtle difference you need to understand. These days, when I see now, people want everything. Like, so many people, you also know that they want jobs, they want everything. But the first question we all need to ask, that what value I am adding to my organization or my client's life. If you can add value, you can. There is always just a value exchange. You are adding value, you are getting some value for you. So that's great. So Shini, one more question, because there is a one fine difference for in the people who are like making a huge difference in the world of finance and who are not so successful. So the difference is like, some people are not fit for this industry, or like they are just following that herd. If
Yeah,
everyone is going for equity research, I also want to do that. I also want to do that. If someone is
yeah,
doing IB, also want to go in IB. So
it's yeah.
how to change that perspective? We need to understand our strength, our capabilities, then decide the career path we need to
Yes.
fit. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
your take.
hard. No, it's hard. It's like the burnout, right? See, the rewards are outsized.
Right,
One of the perils with the finance industry, or investing, is that the rewards are outsized. And it's positively skewed. It's almost like a winning a lottery. So if you wanted to be a, kind of uh, our good friend, Bihari Lal Devra, right? BD was telling me
Yes.
like this is a few years back. For the position of an analyst, he got some 100 or 150 resumes. Now,
Okay.
what do you do with that, right? So you have to be exceptionally good to be selected, from that pool. Now, I'll give you an example of how Telegram hires. Do you know
Okay.
about Telegram?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
all
So Telegram is it's a fiercely competitive world. Okay.
right.
So what they do is like they have got 6 or 7 years, maybe 10 years. You have to keep on appearing for their exams, their coding competitions, and you have to excel in them. So if you excel in 7 out of 10 competitions, you get in.
Okay.
You know how many people they have? Only 40.
Okay.
Okay, only 40, managing tens of thousands of servers. See, there's three different things, right? Like
Okay.
again, there's a yeah, there's a good book, and it goes to slightly philosophical, but it's very pertinent. And this was espoused by a Gandhian, Vinoba Bhave, and he espouses the concept of swadharma. So it goes to the Gita, right? Gita is the whole point of the Bhagavad Gita is you need to find the Arjun in you.
Okay.
And the Arjun you knew is found when the Arjun knows what his or her Swadharma is. So, what
Right.
is Swadharma? He goes on to explain Swadharma is nothing but, what do you like? What are you good at? And what does the world want? An intersection of these three things, is what you should be trying to do. But if you want to be everybody wants to be the Prime Minister of India, right? Obviously, you
Right.
can't, right?
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be a fund manager or a investment banker and whatnot, but
Right.
or a governor for the RBI. I don't know. Like I've not seen many people aspiring to be the governor of the Reserve Bank of India, which is by the way, very very prestigious position. Even just to aspire to be that, right? It's a very honorable and prestigious position. So anyway, so that's what it is, so understanding one's capacities, one's likings, and getting confused. You use the word herd, uh, and that can bring a lot of pain and grief and stress. You may even get that job, but in that job you'll become stressed
Right.
because you'll always compare to uh, you know and money will never be enough. If in India, if you're not getting six figure salaries, you'll get six figures. But then you'll again become stressed. You'll get seven figures, you'll become hugely stressed. And in doing all of this, you'll start to go on a slippery slope of you may, right? Not everybody does. But people may cheat. They may not do anything illegal yet.
Right.
But so that opens up a can of worms.
Yeah, got the point. You explained it very nicely in some spiritual words like swadharma. So first thing you said, like, what do you like? And from my experience of last 6 7 years, I've learned that you need to just excel at one thing. If you are good at doing one thing now, and the whole game is to find that one thing. If you can find that,
Yeah,
you can do anything. And द थिंग इज दैट कि अगर आप चले भी जाओगे आईबी में, अगर आप उसको एंजॉय नहीं करोगे तो फिर लाइफ का मीनिंग नहीं है, और लाइफ तो एक बार ही मिली है. यू कैन नॉट वेस्ट द
absolutely.
एंटायर लाइफ लाइक
Absolutely.
चेजिंग थिंग्स एंड लाइक दैट.
Absolutely.
सो थ्री थिंग्स व्हाट डू यू लाइक, मतलब फॉर ऑल द व्यूअर्स बहुत अच्छे से, मतलब श्री बहुत, मतलब आप अगर इसी चीज को इम्प्लीमेंट कर लोगे ना, द होल गेम फॉर योर लाइफ विल शिफ्ट. फर्स्ट थिंग आपको ये डिसाइड करना है कि व्हाट यू लाइक, आपको क्या पसंद है एक्चुअल में, क्या करने से खुशी मिलती है. क्योंकि अगर आप देखोगे ना, तो इंडिया एक ऐसी कंट्री, हम लोग इतने फॉर्चुनेट है कि यहाँ सर्वाइवल के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत ज्यादा चीजें नहीं चाहिए. आप थोड़े से में भी बहुत अच्छे से रह सकते हो. फर्स्ट आपको पता होना चाहिए आपको क्या पसंद है. सेकंड इज व्हाट यू आर गुड एट. और आपको देखो, इस लाइफ में आप हमेशा अपनी वीकनेस सारी ब्रिज करते नहीं रह सकते. ये मेरा मतलब मेरी लर्निंग है. आप सारी वीकनेस ब्रिज करने जाओगे, लाइफ छोटी पड़ जाएगी. सबके पास फाइनाइट टाइम है. वी कैन नॉट वेस्ट एंटायर लाइफ. आपको पता करना है कि आपकी स्ट्रेंथ क्या है. आपको पता चल गया, देन जस्ट स्टार्ट प्लेइंग अराउंड योर स्ट्रेंथ. स्ट्रेंथ के अराउंड प्ले करो. और पैसा तो हर प्रोफेशन में और इतना है जो आपने कभी सोचा भी नहीं होगा. और थर्ड, व्हाट डज द वर्ल्ड वांट. एक्चुअली मैं थोड़ा सा वो करूंगा, व्हाट डज द वर्ल्ड नीड, एक्चुअल में लोगों को क्या चाहिए। वांट के बिना तो लोग सरवाइव भी कर लेंगे, बट अगर आपने नीड फाइंड आउट कर लिया ना एक बार, तो पूरा गेम चेंज है। तो इन तीनों क्वेश्चन को बहुत अच्छे से एक पेन और पेपर लेके इन तीनों क्वेश्चंस के आंसर दो। ये पॉडकास्ट खत्म होने से पहले आपको आपकी लाइफ में क्लैरिटी मिल जाएगी। थैंक यू श्रीनी, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर लाइक वंडरफुल आंसर फॉर दैट। एंड you said you talked about few people like Ratnadeep sir and like your current boss Vidhu Shekhar and all now. So what is the importance of good mentors in our life? Because the
Yeah,
people,
so
yeah,
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 so yeah, no, so yeah, no, absolutely. So you need to have some good people. So Vidhu was is fantastic, right? Like, and he still is a friend, philosopher, guide. He
mhm.
even reviewed my PhD work. So,
Okay.
and it's not just to me, right? Like any person, like you talk with him. He's. I mean, I should say that like he's an extremely erudite and smart human being. Okay, so Vidhu is one of the big influences, and so is Navneet. Like, we'll find him, live, he's a living example of how to lead an ethical life and a very successful life in quote unquote in the traditional sense of success, right? So these are two people from our CFA community that one can, kind of relate to, that I could relate to, and there's many others. I used to have somebody called Stephen Johnson. He was my boss in Japan, and Shimoi-san. So he was a quiet. He's still one of the most successful. He was the head of research after Mr. Chivata, and Stephen Johnson was a huge influence on me. He said that my job is to just put guardrails, and want the horses to run there. I want the horses to go wild on that racetrack. So there are lots of good people, who and getting those good people is you have to be lucky, and that's why I say that I've been exceptionally lucky.
Right, right. No, similarly, I can also say that when I reached Mumbai now, I didn't knew anyone. So I got BD sir. Thanks to
Yeah.
Amit sir as well. He introduced
Yes.
me with BD sir. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've worked with him for a very brief period of time. But like, uh, he has such a huge impact on me that whenever matlab, I want to give an example in this call itself, because generally what we do now, there is a call center call like we do. Okay, I am not in touch. He pick up a call. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we are not doing that. Thank you so much for like you. Matlab, you got amazed by just listening that call. So I have learned in that very brief period of 7 months at his under his guidance. Like I can implement it like for my entire life. So that was a huge impact of a mentor on me. And like similarly, you quoted so many people. Like you have to be lucky, and we are exceptionally lucky in that manner. So,
Yeah.
Srini, yeah, you were going to say something.
Yeah, just one before, like, I don't know, I think we are running short of time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
BD is, just fantastic. Like,
right.
so he's there in the career guide, and Vidhu and Navneet are not there. Probably Navneet is there, I'm not very sure, in the CFA career guide. People should take a look. But what I want to just, mention as a passing remark, see, AI has become a leveling field now. And, of course, it's harder and harder to get good advice, but you can talk with a Socrates using ChatGPT or DeepSeek. You can get Socrates as your guide. And I'm
Right,
not
right,
saying by
right.
any stretch of imagination that Vidhu is not Socrates, or Navneet is not. So there's no comparison here. I'm saying, so of course, I'm saying if you want to just interact, bounce off thoughts, you can literally do that,
Right, right.
right? And so you can also teach yourself very profound things. You can go and read academic papers. You can ask them, you can learn, teach yourself coding. You can be a stock picker right here, if you have the kind of background, or a fund manager for that matter. I'm saying, AI has created a huge leveling field, and people, uh, the lack of awareness of the limitations of AI as well as the real use of AI will create deeper divides, and people should embrace that technology sooner than later.
Right, great answer. And I have one very important question, because we all see the bright parts. So you might be having some very challenging part in your career as well. So what were those challenging parts of your career that we don't see in your
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile and other places? Like, just
Yeah, no,
tell
you're
us.
right.
Yeah,
So there are many challenging parts,
right.
many challenging parts. So, and we could do 10-hour session on that. Maybe that's the best learning of. So any company, any individual. So this is what I've learned, right? Like, and I've read about. Will have to go through 6, 7, 8 different, uh, kind of challenges in the work they do, right? So it could be, market driven, it could be situation driven, it could be your own mistakes, and so those are episodic. We should be able to treat them as episodic. We should be able to take them in the stride responsibly, and we should be able to keep on moving forward. We should have the humility to accept them, to accept these challenges, but not resist them. uh, we should see them as challenges. We should see them, we should learn from them and keep moving forward. The biggest was, of course, for me to, kind of like see my mother, being hurt. And, I've been torn, like whether should I stay in Japan or whether should I come back. That was one thing. But there are other things, right, in the job, right? I was once in a job where, yeah, the person who was, it was a deep coding thing in C++, right? And, this person had gone on vacation and the system stopped working.
Okay,
Okay, so that day it was a huge loss for the business because I couldn't do anything about it. But my learning was right now I'm a hands-on coder. So, and I don't leave it to chance to anybody. Like if there's a system, I want to get into it and understand what it exactly does and be on the top of it.
great. So next question is all about automation. How automation is changing our industry, and how the future of jobs and work will look like as you are heading the automation and content at your current firm.
Yeah, so there's a slight change in my role. So actually, I'm part of the investment team now
Okay, great.
in HDFC AMC. So, we are trying to build a research platform, AI. It's not just research platform, but other AI-driven, uh, you know, AI-driven systems and workflows
Okay.
within HDFC AMC. But I've moved over to the investment team. So your question was on content and automation and
Yeah, my
uh,
question was on automation, like how the future jobs in finance will look like,
future
because
of
you are,
jobs. Yeah.
yeah,
So the future of jobs is going to be T-shaped, right? Like, it's not me. The World Economic Forum, the CFA Institute, many people have said it, but it's there for us to see. You have to be a domain expert somewhere. You have to know your area. Like if it is AI, you need to know AI inside out. If it is, investing, let's say if you are a, let's say you're a manufacturing analyst, let's say you're a chemicals analyst,
okay,
you need to know that area so well that AI will then accentuate your skills.
okay,
Your core personality is going to be turbocharged. So if you're I met a fascinating personality. His name will come to me, but maybe he may not want me to mention his name. But this is a person who's in his 70s, runs a marketing company. Okay, has no idea of what AI is.
okay,
But he's now created another company. He's learned how to use AI and he's using it in marketing by employing, one AI engineer, one coordinator, and one artist, and that's it. So
okay,
they're able to, produce videos at scale. So that's the nature of you won't need big, kind of staff strength. The
right.
lever is going to be like the options market, right? You're going to be levered 1 to 100.
Got the point.
And if it doesn't happen, see, if it doesn't happen in the next 2, 3 years, it's coming.
Yeah, right. We are seeing at some places, like already seeing it at some places, the strength is going leaner and leaner. Okay, my second last question is, uh, your thoughts on volunteering and making an impact in the world of finance. Yeah, this topic is like more connected to your heart, so I want your heart.
Yeah, yeah. So volunteering is again a form of seva, right? Like, you're connected with people by helping, by first of all having a empathy and having some compassion to whatever they are doing, and the work also, right? The work that they are doing. So if you start from there, things follow, right? Like, and where are the largest gaps? The largest gaps are in awareness. The largest gaps are in, what you are doing, like letting people know a simple rule. I mean, the swadharma thing is there, but just look at the supply and demand. Don't get confused by it. It's 101 of economics, right? Just look at the supply and demand. Where is the demand? Can you go to the demand and and not create an oversupply of things? So like there is this, bridging the awareness gap. It could be financial literacy, it could be digital literacy, which is going to be a significant challenge. It already is. AI literacy. There's, cyber threats coming along. I don't know, whether you have had that experience, but within my, close friend circle, I know at least a couple of people who have been duped for large amounts of money, right?
Okay.
So these things are a living reality, and they will unravel even more in ways we don't know.
Yeah, right. Okay, got the point. And my last question to you is, what are the skills of future? If some finance professional is listening to this podcast, and what message you want to give to him? Okay, learn these skills, and you are in a good shape for future. Now, key skills you want them to learn and work on.
Yeah, so I would, because, if I were to pick up one, it is about AI. But
Okay.
don't fall to AI. I mean, this is assuming they are already finance professionals. That means they already have
Yeah.
domain knowledge.
Yeah.
Because no technology, no AI can beat domain knowledge. Domain knowledge is you. You as an individual need to have that domain knowledge to be an expert. You need to have in your, muscle memory, not just brain cells, muscle memory of how things unravel. Now, AI is a tool, but what is happening is that we don't know when you have a persona which is going to beat you. I
They
don't
just
know
okay.
when. See, there are theories it could happen in the next 3 years, next 9 years, or next 45 years. But the deadliest thing about this technology is that it can learn. We are not talking about a static piece of technology where you learn to cycle and, the wheel or fire, so these are static, kind of, these are inventions, incredible inventions that have caused huge impact. But this is a technology which lets machines learn.
Right.
So now if you keep on, understanding that the potential that you get is an exponent of you. It is not a simple addition, neither a multiplication, it's an exponent.
Right. The
So,
evolved
so
version
the
of you.
last point, the last point on that is don't become a prey to lots of ads that are there on AI, which are there on YouTube, and they'll say, "आपको 10 मिनट में सिखाऊंगा, 15 मिनट में सिखाऊंगा." The only way to learn this technology is to do it, and the way to do it is there are lots of free AI models. You just start teaching yourself and apply basic common sense which everybody has got. There's no mumbo jumbo, there's no magic. It is a very intelligent and smart stochastic parrot, but extremely smart, which can let you talk with a Socrates or a Dronacharya, or even Andrej Karpathy, who's kind of like the god of AI, one of the gods of AI. There's many others. So if you want to follow people, follow Musk, follow Andrej Karpathy, follow Sam Altman, go and look at Y Combinator startup videos. There's a startup school. Andrej Karpathy has taught free videos. Andrew Ang, Professor Ang, like he's the biggest and the best, one of the best out there. So there's so many of them. Our own Nandan Nilekani, right? So,
Right.
lots of IT profs. So, yeah, I mean, so go to the direct route of, authentic learning.
Right. So, hope guys, you enjoyed this podcast thoroughly, and we discussed a lot of things like the importance of mentors, starting from different countries. We talked about culture of Japan, we talked about India, and we talked about some impact creation initiative. We talked about AI. We talked about swadharma. For me, this podcast summarizes in one point, like swadharma, which includes 3 points. What do you like? What you are good at? And what does the world need? There is a stark difference between need and want. If you are in the area of need, it is going to create a huge value for you as well. So thank you, Srini. I'm thanking you from my heart. Like you came to this podcast and like open your heart to our viewers, and you opened your 25 years of knowledge in just one and a half of podcast. Thank you. I'm truly grateful to you, and on everyone's behalf, I'm thanking you for coming to this podcast. Thank you so much,
Thank
Srini.
you for
Yeah,
having me, Prince, and I wish
yeah,
you all the very best. I wish the audience all the very best. I hope they, continue to find their happiness and serve the larger good in meaningful ways.
right. Great, great. So I will close this podcast with just one word. Find your swadharma, and you're going to do good in your life. Thank you, guys. Thank you
Great.
for tuning in. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prince.
Bye, Srini.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.